Chen Luo was a man of his word and immediately stood up, saying, "Then I won't disturb your meal any longer. Thanks for being honest, Brother Albert." With that, he went to the kitchen and took away all the fiery cloud steaks. He then slapped a purple crystal card on the table, declaring confidently, "I don't take things for free. This card has 10 million in it. Feel free to use it. And all of Albert's expenses are on me." But when he came out of the kitchen, he found that Albert and his family were already gone. He thought to himself, did I really scare off a divine level with 5 laws? Then Chen Luo swaggered out of the restaurant. Afterward, he returned to his ability space and asked Rice, "If I steal Eugene's enlightenment tree and transplant it into my ability space, will it survive?" Rice advised Chen Luo, "Don't focus on Eugene right now. The priority should be the auction. That's the main event. You need to go there first. I sense there's something incredibly important there. Plus, the Great God certification you've been longing for will also be available there. The person you'll meet is also a space specialist. So don't just run away at first sight. Otherwise, you'll miss the chance to learn." Chen Luo quickly asked, "Rice, is that person formidable? Will I be in danger if I don't run?" Rice was momentarily speechless. "Brother, you're wearing armor and possess 4 laws. Who can kill you in a short time? Be brave. The auction is held in the imperial capital of the Volsci Empire. You must have a pass to enter. Hurry and get one." After dressing carefully, Chen Luo went to the specified location to get his documents. The staff there asked solemnly, "Name?" Chen Luo replied, "I'm Kit." The staff frowned. "I can't find your information. What system do you belong to?" Chen Luo quickly explained, "I became a divine level and then secluded myself for 5,000 years. I only came out to explore the world after gaining strength. I'm a space specialist." As soon as he finished, the staff member became more vigilant. "Recently, a space specialist stole from the third prince. It's not you, is it? Show us your laws for inspection." Without hesitation, Chen Luo displayed his 2 defensive laws of the space element. Seeing that there was no law of void walking, the staff member relaxed. Then, he asked, "What's your purpose for entering the imperial capital?" Chen Luo answered, "I'm here to attend the auction. I also hope to make some friends while I'm here." Upon hearing this, the staff member said, "Congratulations, you passed the inspection. Don't cause any trouble in the imperial capital, or the consequences will be dire. Wear this on your chest, and you'll have free access to the imperial capital." Chen Luo quickly assured, "No worries, I'm the most honest person you'll meet." Upon his smooth arrival in the imperial capital, Chen Luo casually picked up a promotional brochure for the auction. To his surprise, the auction featured a variety of precious elixirs, 20 sets of armors of varying quality, and even enlightenment tea. Albeit only 50 grams per portion, he soon spotted another intriguing item, the Firestar Spirit. Rumored to be a divine object formed by the dispersal of the fire law in the universe, it was said to grant non-divine level fire element users godlike status, albeit as a false god, with the physical prowess and lifespan equivalent to a divine level with a single law. Chen Luo wondered, could this be the rare treasure Rice mentioned? It seems to also have life-extending properties. But the auction's rules state that items go to the highest bidder immediately, not at the end. Getting 1 or 2 items might not be hard, but it will surely cause chaos. How do I choose among all these treasures? I need a plan to take everything at once. Meanwhile, in another location, the third prince stood respectfully before 2 elders. One of the elders spoke gravely, saying, "The last auction was managed by the second prince. Now it's your turn, and it's your first time in charge. Make sure there are no mistakes." The third prince assured them, "Please rest assured, I will do my utmost to ensure this auction is a success." The elder nodded and handed him a spatial ring. Most of the auction items are in this ring. There are also a few living items that can't be placed in the ring. Stored in a secret room, you'll be responsible for escorting them to the auction venue. The third prince quickly put the ring on his finger. Just then, the second prince burst in, taunting, "Little brother, are you up to the task? Someone cleared out your house right under your nose. I seriously doubt your competence. Maybe I should take over." The third prince hurriedly explained, That was because I wasn't home. It would never have happened otherwise. But the second prince was skeptical. I heard that the thief did it right in front of you. The third prince's face darkened as he retorted, "Nonsense. Robbed by someone with 2 laws right in front of me? Are you out of your mind? Do you actually believe such rumors?" Just as the princes were discussing, the great prince entered the council hall. The eldest princess of the Draman Empire will also be attending this time. This is a matter of the empire's dignity. Lei Sane, you need to be careful, he advised. Then, he changed his tone. You're still young. Lei Sane, there might be things you can't handle. How about letting your elder brother manage this time? Hearing this, the third prince was momentarily stunned and thought to himself, what kind of suggestion is this? Being in charge of this auction means legitimate contact with many influential figures. You think I would just hand it over? No way, he firmly stated. There will be no mishaps. I assure you, everything is under control. The second prince scoffed. What if the items go missing? The third prince responded immediately. If the things are destroyed, then I shall perish. Meanwhile, Chen Luo checked into a hotel room, contemplating his plan. He thought, if I want to seize all the auction items, I have to act before they're transported to the auction venue. However, he had no information on who would be escorting the items or when. Just then, he noticed a crowd surrounding an elderly man with long ears. Many people were asking him questions. A person inquired, "Grandfather Mint Rabbit, how much do you think 50 grams of enlightenment tea will sell for this time?" The elderly man, Mint Rabbit, smiled slightly. Based on my experience from the last auction I hosted, the price range could be between 50 million and 100 million. It really depends on the mood of the bidders. Another curious individual asked, "Grandfather Mint Rabbit, do you know who is in charge of this auction?" Mint Rabbit promptly replied, "According to the information I have, this auction is organized by the third prince." Upon hearing this, Chen Luo felt a surge of emotion. It really is a small world. Then I won't hold back. As mealtime approached, the crowd around Mint Rabbit dispersed, and Chen Luo seized the opportunity to ingratiate himself with the elder. "Esteemed sir, have you had your meal yet? Allow me to treat you to a lavish dinner." Soon, they were at a restaurant, and Chen Luo generously urged, "Order anything you like, please don't be shy." Mint Rabbit, delighted, said, "Thanks for the warm hospitality, young man. Feel free to ask me about the prices of any items you're curious about." Chen Luo didn't dive straight into his main topic, but instead engaged in casual conversation. When Mint Rabbit seemed a bit tipsy, Chen Luo casually inquired, "The security for an auction of this level must be quite strict, right?" Mint Rabbit replied with a hint of pride, "Well, it's both strict and not. Items that can be put in a ring are carried by the person in charge, on their person. Those that can't be put in the ring are transported in a large vehicle directly to the venue. As for the route, it's usually taken an hour before the auction starts, through the back door of the venue." Meanwhile, in another part of the Volsky Empire, Yun Chuyong was making inquiries about Chen Luo to the third prince. "Any news on Chen Luo?" The third prince smiled slightly. "That guy appeared on Happy Planet a couple of days ago. Once I'm done with the auction, I'll focus on capturing him." Yun Chuyong responded, "All right then, let me know as soon as you find him. I'm curious to see how he uses his void walking. After all, he's the first person in the universe to become a god through it." Iron Fist, standing nearby, confidently smirked, "Third prince, rest assured. If I encounter that guy, I guarantee I'll have him on his knees." Yun Chuyong grinned, "Don't be too confident. That kid became a god through void walking. Catching him is one thing. Can you even touch him?" Iron Fist huffed, "Elder Yun, you're not aware. The third prince has invited Rylan, who controls time freeze. Once Rylan immobilizes him, I can easily take him down." The third prince quickly added, "That's right, worried about Chen Luo causing trouble at the auction. I've asked Uncle Rylan to help escort the auction items." Yun Chuyong appeared impressed, with Rylan involved. This should be a sure thing. At that moment, the spacecraft of the Draman Empire's eldest princess, Afra, descended nearby. The third prince quickly approached and respectfully greeted her. Welcome, esteemed Princess Afra, to our auction. Afra, appearing somewhat nonchalant, asked, Lei Sane, have you ever heard of someone called Thunder King? The third prince shook his head. No, I haven't. What's so special about this Thunder King that you're so interested? Afra explained. He's a friend I met in a game. He's refused to reveal his identity despite my inquiries. I sense he has great talent, and I'm a bit curious about him. The third prince responded, I will instruct my subordinates to search for him, and if we find him, we will bring him to you. Afra nodded. I appreciate your efforts, third prince. The next day, early in the morning, Chen Luo arrived at a restaurant with a view overlooking the entire auction venue, ready to surprise the third prince. Soon, the third prince's convoy appeared in Chen Luo's sight. Seeing the opportune moment, Chen Luo donned his armor and used void walking to appear inside the transport vehicle. He skillfully transferred all the treasures into his ability space. The third prince, sensing something amiss, quickly called on Ryland to intervene. Ryland didn't hesitate to use time freeze on Chen Luo. Sensing the temporal shift, Chen Luo immediately countered with his time ability and appeared high in the sky. This alarmed the third prince. Why wasn't he immobilized? Before he could comprehend the situation, Chen Luo used void banishment to pull the third prince towards him and then applied time freeze on him. Just as Chen Luo was about to snatch the reins, Yun Shuang suddenly appeared behind him using void walking. Chen Luo, with a disdainful smile, waved his hand and Yun Shuang vanished. He then swiftly removed 2 rings from the third prince's hand and, in front of everyone, slapped the third prince twice. Wanted to capture me? Ha! Try competing with me when you're actually capable, Yun Shuang, shocked and worried, thought to himself, if I don't retrieve the items, Lei San is going to face serious consequences. After saying this, Yun Shuang used void walking to appear behind Chen Luo. Surprised, Chen Luo thought, this person must be the space specialist Rice mentioned. Rice said I could gain insights from him to achieve the Great God certification. But there are so many divine levels here. If I don't leave, I might not be able to escape. With that thought, he immediately used void walking to vanish from the spot. Although the third prince's time freeze was lifted, he remained in a state of shock, lamenting, I've really messed up. That guy stole my spatial ring right in front of me again. He realized that if time freeze couldn't hold Chen Luo, capturing him would be nearly impossible. However, Yun Shuang didn't give up. As soon as Chen Luo used void walking, Yun Shuang also disappeared. Meanwhile, Chen Luo had teleported hundreds of kilometers away. But to his dismay, Yun Shuang eerily appeared beside him. Chen Luo was taken aback. How is this possible? How does he know where I am? Before he could understand the situation, Yun Shuang's hand was already gripping his armor. Chen Luo quickly used void walking to evade, but Yun Shuang followed like a shadow, matching his every teleportation. Chen Luo was utterly bewildered and shouted, Why can you lock onto my position? Yun Shuang smirked, I heard you mastered 2 laws within 2 years. A prodigy indeed, but still too green. Chen Luo stood frozen, wondering, how did he do that? Was I marked somehow? With this thought, he used void walking again, closely observing Yun Shuang. Yun Shuang did the same, closely watching how Chen Luo executed void walking. After hundreds of consecutive uses of void walking, Chen Luo noticed something crucial. When Yun Shuang uses void walking, something seems to be missing from the space he passes through, while mine seems to leave something extra. With this observation, Chen Luo had an epiphany. When I use void walking, I leave spatial traces at my original location, and he's tracking me through these traces. Yun Shuang, on the other hand, erases his spatial traces after using his skill. This is where my void walking falls short. If not for Yun Shuang's live demonstration, I might never have realized this. As Yun Shuang watched with a smirk, he said, Give up, there's no way you can escape from me today. Chen Luo responded with a slight smile, Thank you for the lesson you taught me today. After saying this, he disappeared again. But this time, Yun Shuang was stunned. He failed to catch any spatial trace of Chen Luo, muttering to himself, Did this kid figure out his flaw? Not just that, he solved it too. Following this perfect execution of void walking by Chen Luo, a notification regarding his void walking law appeared, indicating that his comprehension had reached 100%. Suddenly, a mysterious spatial fluctuation appeared above him, followed by a beam of silver light shining directly on him. This development surprised Yun Shuang, who exclaimed, "How is this possible? Is this the legendary Great God certification?" Erasing spatial traces was his final hurdle to achieve it. Did I inadvertently teach him that? The celestial phenomenon acted like a guiding light, drawing the attention of several divine levels to Chen Luo's location. Shortly thereafter, a dozen figures swiftly arrived at the scene, including the third prince. Seeing Chen Luo undergoing a transformation by the spatial law, the third prince's face turned sour, and he yelled in disbelief, "How is this possible? Why does he get the Great God certification?" At that moment, regret washed over the third prince. Though time crystals were rare, with his status and position, he would eventually obtain one from some lower life form. Why did I have to pick Chen Luo? Time Trace, you've doomed me, he lamented. Meanwhile, a guard whispered to Princess Afra, "Your Highness, you must try to enlist this person afterwards, no matter the cost." Just then, a commanding voice echoed in everyone's ears. The law of space is bestowing the Great God certification. All present are advised not to interfere. At that moment, Chen Luo was starting to understand what the Great God certification truly entailed. Firstly, undergoing the baptism of the spatial law had astonishingly increased his lifespan by 1 million years. Secondly, the law gifted him with the spirit of space, significantly reducing his abilities' consumption. This spirit of space served as a backup for his abilities, substituting his energy consumption and accelerating his recovery, essentially acting as a reserve of abilities. More incredibly, the spirit of space deepened Chen Luo's affinity with various spatial powers, reducing the difficulty of comprehending new laws. Chen Luo sighed, "Indeed, it's a great gift, but it didn't directly enhance my combat abilities or physical strength. After causing such a commotion, I only got this." The others were immensely envious, wishing they could have received the Great God certification themselves. If only I could get it. Chen Luo is sure to become a major figure in the realm of space. Hearing this, the third prince shouted in anger, "What big shot in space, he's nothing but a robber." He blatantly robbed the imperial capital, showing no respect for the empire. Unfazed, Chen Luo taunted him, "Isn't this my benefactor? The third prince, I really have to thank you for your enlightenment tea. Without it, how could I have received the Great God certification?" Already on the verge of exploding, the third prince, provoked by these words, lost his composure and charged at Chen Luo like a mad dog. However, in the next second, he was suddenly frozen in place by a shimmering crystal of ice. This startled Chen Luo, who thought to himself, "Who did this?" Before he could grasp the situation, everyone around him bowed and exclaimed, "All hail Emperor Risod." The figure was none other than the ruler of the Volsci Empire, a supreme being who had reigned for over 2 million years. The powerful aura emanating from him immediately made Chen Luo feel uneasy, wondering, "Is he here to settle scores with me?" Emperor Risod shook his head in resignation, thinking to himself, "Lei Sang is finished. His mind has been completely destroyed by this Chen Luo. No matter how talented, it will be difficult for him to progress further." Emperor Risod then announced, effective immediately, Lei Sang is stripped of his prince title. After unfreezing the third prince, he ordered his subordinates to retrieve the prince token and exclusive armor. Turning to Chen Luo with a kind expression, he said, "You're Chen Luo, correct? I am aware of the conflict between you and Lei Sang. While he was at fault initially, your actions were also inexcusable. However, I am willing to overlook this. I will rescind the warrant for your arrest and offer you the title of Marquis in the Volsci Empire. Would you be willing to join us?" Chen Luo was taken aback, thinking, not only is he not here to settle accounts, but he's also offering me a reward. Is he trying to win me over before eliminating me? Uninterested in the offer, Chen Luo internally remarked, "I, the Void King, serve as a subordinate? Wishful thinking. He then replied, Your Majesty, this is quite sudden. May I take some time to consider? Emperor Resod nodded. Take your time. From the auction items you took, feel free to select 2 to keep. The rest must be returned. With that, Resod vanished instantly, leaving Chen Luo startled. Such formidable strength. If he had attacked me, I might not have had time to react. As soon as Resod left, a divine-level figure eagerly asked Chen Luo, Could you let me have the Fire Star Spirit? I would owe you a favor. Others then crowded around, requesting various auction items. Chen Luo chuckled to himself, They're already asking for items before I've even agreed to return them. He then earnestly said, I will seriously consider the Emperor's suggestion. Now, I need a quiet place to contemplate the loss. He then made eye contact with Yun Chuyang, signaling, I'll leave traces with my void walking. He disappeared, and half an hour later, Yun Chuyang found him using the spatial traces. Yun Chuyang asked gravely, What do you want? Why did you intentionally leave traces to lead me here? Chen Luo bowed respectfully and said, Thank you, teacher, for your lesson. Without your demonstration, I would never have discovered the flaw in my void walking in such a short time. Hearing this, Yun Chuyang responded, There's no need for such formalities. You surely didn't ask me here just to say thanks. Without hesitation, Chen Luo said, I've only been involved in the space element for 4 or 5 years and feel my foundation is weak. Could you provide me with some guidance? As he spoke, he pulled out a purple crystal card. Here are 10 billion purple crystals. I certainly don't expect you to teach me for free. Yun Chuyang was momentarily taken aback, contemplating whether to teach him or not. Soon, he made up his mind and waved his hand. Don't call me your teacher. Being the teacher of such a troublemaker might get me killed one day. He then hesitated a bit before continuing, I can teach you, but could you also teach me void walking? Of the 8 laws of the space element, it's the only one I haven't mastered yet. Mastering all the spatial laws would significantly enhance my power. Chen Luo readily agreed. No problem, I'll share everything I know. Yun Chuyang wasted no time and said, Among the auction items, there's a mystic aura crystal. Find it. It can record and immerse you in the scenes it captures. Record our session with it. Let's not waste any more time and start right away, since void walking is your strength. I won't attempt to teach that. Let's start with 2 defensive laws. Under Yun Chuyang's guidance, Chen Luo immediately began practicing according to the techniques described. In just 2 hours, his comprehension of the 2 spatial defensive laws increased by 20% each. Chen Luo was delighted. I've certainly found the right teacher. Yun Chuyang continued to explain the intricacies of ability space, showcasing his own space to Chen Luo. My ability space is divided into 7 dimensions, meaning even if you enter, you won't be able to find what I've hidden inside. And once you comprehend this law, your ability space will become virtually indestructible. Chen Luo fell deep into thought, realizing the simplicity of his own ability space compared to Yun Chuyang's. He decided to wait until he was alone to release everyone from his space and remodel it based on Yun Chuyang's teachings. Then, Chen Luo eagerly asked, Could you teach me about offensive laws? I don't have any attack laws yet. Yun Chuyang grinned. Of course, I even have a trick for quickly mastering attack laws. He then produced a large sword and approached Chen Luo with a mischievous smile. Chen Luo, somewhat anxious, asked, What's the trick? The trick is to take a beating. I'll transfer my attack laws into your body directly. There's no faster way to comprehend a law than feeling it within yourself. Just stand still, and I'll handle the rest. Chen Luo, visibly frightened, protested, What if you hit too hard? Are you trying to kill me? Maybe you should demonstrate first. Nodding, Yun Chuyang explained, Spatial attacks are the most impressive, both in terms of destructive power and method of attack. They far surpass other elemental systems. Watch closely. No sooner had he finished speaking than Chen Luo felt a chill on his back and realized a void sword had already circled behind him. Sweating profusely, he shouted, How did you do that? Yun Chuyang smiled slightly. It's not just dimensional power. I've integrated auxiliary space abilities, sending the void sword into a different spatial layer. Since you're not deeply familiar with auxiliary space, you couldn't detect it. By the time the void sword manifests, it's already too late to defend. Upon hearing Yun Chuyang's explanation, Chen Luo hadn't so different spatial abilities can be combined like this. He realized Yun Chuyang spoke gravely. Now, I'll demonstrate my ultimate technique, shaking the heavens. This move combines 3 attack laws. I can't make too much noise, or if someone finds out I'm teaching you, I'll be in trouble. Pay attention, I'll only show this once. As he spoke, 3 laws merged in his hands, eventually becoming an almost imperceptible transparent color. Chen Luo felt an immense pressure emanating from Yun Chuyang's hands. When Yun Chuyang swung his arm, the space affected by shaking the heavens shattered like broken glass, fragmenting inch by inch. It was the most terrifying attack Chen Luo had ever seen, and that was Yun Chuyang suppressing his destructive power. Chen Luo was thoroughly impressed and quickly said, "I think you're absolutely right, teacher. Please infuse the 3 attack laws into me, but gently, please. I'm really not good with pain." Yun Chuyang nodded, "Don't worry, I know what I'm doing." With that, Yun Chuyang swung his sword towards Chen Luo. At that moment, Chen Luo was panicking internally, reassuring himself. Since Rice didn't give any warnings, it must be safe. Today, I'll be brave. However, before the attack even hit him, Chen Luo instinctively used his defensive law to protect himself. This left Yun Chuyang speechless. "What are you doing? If you defend like this, I'll have to use full force." Chen Luo awkwardly smiled. "Sorry, it was a reflex. I promise to control it next time." After continuously attacking Chen Luo for 2 hours, Yun Chuyang finally managed to infuse the 3 attack laws into his body. Exhausted, Yun Chuyang said, "The laws are now on your body. Feel them out on your own. Now it's your turn to teach me voidwalking." Chen Luo shared his complete understanding of voidwalking with Yun Chuyang, but Yun Chuyang still seemed puzzled. Suggesting a practical approach, Yun Chuyang asked Chen Luo to perform voidwalking while he observed closely, hoping to grasp the concept better. After about 2 hours, Chen Luo eagerly asked, "How about now? Do you have a deeper understanding of voidwalking?" Yun Chuyang looked bewildered and admitted, "I thought I knew a bit before, but after your explanation, I feel like I know even less." Chen Luo, feeling a bit exasperated, offered, "Should I try explaining it again?" Yun Chuyang quickly declined. No, I just need some time to process this. Your teachings are a bit complex for me right now. Let me have some quiet time to think." As Chen Luo scratched his head, unsure of what more he could do, he decided to review the knowledge Yun Chuyang had taught him, focusing first on auxiliary space, which he felt more familiar with. Meanwhile, Yun Chuyang, feeling overwhelmed, exclaimed, "This is too difficult. Maybe I'll just come back to it when I have more time." Just then, Yun Chuyang noticed something unusual and looked up at the sky, then at Chen Luo. He exclaimed in astonishment, "Is the gap between people really this big? The more I learn, the worse I get. And this guy has just comprehended another law?" Meanwhile, Chen Luo was fully absorbed in modifying his ability space, unaware that a new law was about to transform his body. When the transformation began, Chen Luo was startled and shouted, "You're distracting me, you know." Yun Chuyang, watching from the sidelines, marveled, "I can't believe it. You've comprehended 5 laws in just 6 years." Chen Luo smiled modestly, "All thanks to your guidance and the help of the spirit of space. With its assistance, I feel comprehending all the spatial laws isn't too difficult. The real challenge is elevating the comprehension of each law to the level of great God certification." Yun Chuyang initially seemed surprised by Chen Luo's ambitions, then praised him, "Impressive, young man, I didn't expect you to have such grand aspirations. No wonder you've achieved so much. It seems I underestimated you. Given enough time, surpassing Emperor Risod might not be out of the question." At the mention of Risod, Chen Luo quickly asked, "Teacher, what can you tell me about Risod's character?" Yun Chuyang pondered before responding, "About 80,000 years ago, a divine level being found at divine grass. I don't know the specifics, as it's top secret. The divine level didn't surrender it, and upon hearing this, Resod immediately ordered the extermination of all life on that being's home planet and the surrounding star systems. Yun Chuyang sighed, when an emperor is angered, billions may fall. Hearing this, Chen Luo was visibly shaken. If that's the consequence of not surrendering a treasure, my actions in the imperial capital were essentially a slap in Resod's face. Yet, he didn't get angry, but instead offered me a title. It seems abnormal. He must be planning to pacify me first, then find an opportunity to eliminate me later. Concerned, Chen Luo inquired further, "Teacher, what is Resod's strength?" Yun Chuyang shook his head, "I'm not entirely sure. He hasn't made a move in many years, but from my observations, he has at least 12 laws." Chen Luo was alarmed. 12 laws? Aren't there only 8 laws per element? Yun Chuyang clarified, he has achieved godhood in 2 elements. Living for over 2 million years, it's normal for him to master that many laws. 12 is a conservative estimate. It could even be 13 or 14. At this moment, Chen Luo suddenly realized, so Resod's power is terrifyingly strong. Yun Chuyang replied with a light smile, "Actually, I have 8 laws. 7 of them are of the space category, and 1 more is my second special ability in the physical category." Chen Luo, with a mischievous smile, immediately asked, "Teacher, where is the part of your body that awakened this physical ability?" Yun Chuyang, with an embarrassed look, responded, "Get out of here, it's a secret. Don't you pry into it. I've taught you all I can. Just don't go around saying I'm your teacher. I don't want to become a wanted criminal." Hearing this, Chen Luo immediately assured, "Teacher, don't worry, I'm not the kind of person who would repay kindness with ingratitude." Yun Chuyang sighed, "I impulsively taught you something troublesome just now. If one day we end up fighting each other, I won't go easy on you." As soon as these words fell, Chen Luo quickly said, "But I will show mercy." Upon hearing this, Yun Chuyang burst into laughter. "You show mercy to me? You don't even have a single attack law. You pose no threat to me at all. Stop joking." This infuriated Chen Luo, who thought to himself, "Let's wait and see. Next time we meet, let's see if I have an attack law." Then, Yun Chuyang tried to act like an expert by attempting to disappear through void walking, only to realize, oh no, how'd I use void walking again? I completely forgot. With no other choice, he had to awkwardly leave using spatial teleportation. Although Chen Luo had already mastered 5 laws, he still lacked an attack law. With Yun Chuyang's laws within me, given time, mastering the familiar dimensional law won't be hard. Once I master the dimensional law, time trace, your end is near. It's about time for the enlightenment tea to mature. Maybe I should first visit Eugene's planet to check on it. With the enlightenment tea, I can better comprehend the laws. Having said that, Chen Luo used void walking to arrive on Eugene's planet. He immediately concealed himself in the deeper layers of space, undetectable by anyone without divine-level space abilities. At that moment, a flower emitting a rainbow glow caught his attention. Unsure of what it was, but recognizing its extraordinary nature from its appearance, Chen Luo prepared to take a closer look. However, just 2 steps closer, he sensed something wrong. The flower had the ability to accelerate time. Merely approaching within a meter of it cost him 500 years of his lifespan, frightening Chen Luo considerably. He urgently asked Rice what was going on. Rice, also unaware, sensed that the flower's petals would be significant soon. She hurriedly instructed Chen Luo to pick a petal, cautioning him not to take the whole flower and to be careful not to harm it, as the consequences would be severe. Chen Luo swallowed nervously, thinking, since Rice says it's important, even if it costs 1,000,000 years of my life, I must do it. With that, he used void walking to approach the flower and carefully plucked a petal, then quickly returned to his original spot using void walking. The whole process took only 4 or 5 seconds, but it still cost Chen Luo several thousand years of his lifespan. Chen Luo immediately asked Rice, "What's the use of this petal?" Rice responded, "It can save your life at a critical moment." I feel that this petal can temporarily make you immune to the power of time. Now, hurry and find the enlightenment tree. Chen Luo continued searching in Eugene's garden and soon found a sign that read enlightenment tree. Without hesitation, he approached and examined it. Suddenly, Chen Luo realized something was off. Has Eugene lost his mind? This is like declaring there's no silver here. I've been active in the Eugene must have heard of my deeds. Does he think I wouldn't recognize the enlightenment tree? Why hang such a big sign? Unbeknownst to him, Caroline had already detected his presence and was closely monitoring his every move. Chen Luo also noticed someone observing him and thought, how did this girl discover me in the deep layers of space? I don't know how she found me, but it's definitely not safe to stay here. He then used void walking to go elsewhere. Soon, he found another tree that seemed like the enlightenment tree. A tea tree emitting a strong tea fragrance, identical to that of enlightenment tea. Without hesitation, Chen Luo used spatial slicing to start harvesting the leaves. In just 2 minutes, he filled a large box with enlightenment tea. However, in the next second, the leaves in the box turned into disgusting caterpillars. Chen Luo was furious, slamming the box on the ground and muttering to himself, that was an illusion. Damn, I've been tricked. There must be a powerful psychic here. Could it be the same girl who discovered me? Just as Chen Luo was at a loss, a scolding voice suddenly came from a distance. Yuri, what are for? Hurry up and pick up the manure. Following the sound, Chen Luo saw Yuri cursing and picking up manure, which amused him greatly. He thought to himself, this is perfect. I was just looking for someone to ask about the situation. I didn't expect to run into an acquaintance here. With this in mind, he immediately kicked Yuri into the space of special abilities. Yuri was terrified, and then told his brother Chen Luo about his experiences. Ever since my foster father found his biological grandson Yuan, my life here has been worse than a dog's. As he spoke, he hugged Chen Luo's legs tightly. Now Eugene wants to train me to demigod level, and then give my crystal to his grandson Yuan. Big brother, you must save me. Hearing this, Chen Luo patted Yuri's shoulder and said, don't worry, with your big brother here to decide for you, no one who bullies you will get away. These words immediately sparked a wicked idea in Yuri. He planned to use Chen Luo to get rid of Yuan and continue living as the wealthy heir. Thinking of this, he quickly said, I suppose. Big brother, you're here for the enlightenment tree. I know where it is. I'll take you there. After saying that, he took Chen Luo to the real enlightenment tree. Looking at Yuan, who was fast asleep, Yuri thought to himself, your end is near, kid. He then quietly pointed to the enlightenment tree and said to Chen Luo, big brother, that is the enlightenment tree. And from my observation, this tree can live well without Eugene's care. You can take it away directly. Without a second word, Chen Luo uprooted the entire enlightenment tree. Thinking to himself, it's so much easier with an inside man, Chen Luo skillfully stuffed it into the space of special abilities. A ruthless look flashed across Yuri's face. Big brother, before we leave, accompany me to find Yuan one more time. I'll alter his memory to make him take the blame. Hearing this, Chen Luo immediately agreed to Yuri's request. They then went to where Yuan was sleeping. But the next second, Yuri suddenly pulled out a knife with a fierce look and quickly covered Yuan's mouth, stabbing him over 100 times while shouting, this is for bullying me and taking everything from me. Chen Luo was terrified by this. Yuri, what are you doing? Weren't we supposed to alter his memory? Why are you killing him? I just came for a free purchase. I never thought about hurting anyone. Unexpectedly, Yuri said with a sinister expression, Yuan was killed by you. Now I am the only family Eugene has left. Only then can I comfortably be your inside man. Although Chen Luo didn't particularly need the divine grass from Eugene's place, he was very interested in the flower that could accelerate time. He thought it would be useful to have Yuri guarded for him. Any significant developments could be reported to him immediately. Although Rice didn't mention it, Chen Luo felt that whether he could quickly become a god might hinge on that flower. Considering this, Chen Luo immediately said, I'll take the blame for this, but you have to be a good inside man for me. Also, do you know about that glowing flower? Yuri immediately responded, I know it. It's called the flower of the other shore. It was planted here by the Volsci Empire a long time ago. Nobody dares to approach it, and I don't know its exact effects. Hearing this, Chen Luo patted Yuri on the shoulder and said, Your task is to watch over this flower of the other shore for me and to find out its secrets. Inform me immediately of any major discoveries. Saying this, he stored Yen's body in his space of special abilities and then warned Yuri, don't try any tricks. Remember the melee resurrection technique. If you try to fool me, Yuan could be brought back to life, and I don't need to tell you the consequences. After saying this, he disappeared on the spot with the void walk. Meanwhile, in another location, the Volsci Empire was holding a highly confidential meeting. The main subject of discussion was Chen Luo. Lei Sane was kneeling in the center of the hall. Risad, with an indifferent tone, asked Lei Sane, Do you realize where you went wrong? Before Lei Sane could answer, Risad angrily said, Your mistake was hiding Chen Luo's abilities for the sake of your pride. If you had spoken up earlier, that boy would have died hundreds of times by now. Lei Sane weakly explained, I thought I could take down Chen Luo by myself. I didn't expect him to not only master the unsolvable void walk, but also learn time stop. I realize my mistake now. Please calm your anger, great emperor. Upon hearing this, the people present expressed their opinions. This Chen Luo is indeed a monster. Even Ryland's time stop couldn't hold him. It's no wonder Lei Sane failed against him. Then, the second prince spoke gravely. If Ryland alone can't stop him, let's invite all the experts who can use time stop to deal with him. I refuse to believe he can escape then. The great prince also agreed, saying, I think the second brother's plan is feasible. Just at that moment, Lei Sane's communicator suddenly rang. Just as Lei Sane was about to dismiss the call, he noticed it was from his subordinate station on the Blue Star. So he answered. The anxious voice on the other end said, Third Prince, we have reached the coordinates provided by Time Trace, but we have not found Chen Luo's home planet. Could it be that Time Trace has deceived us? Hearing this, Risen fell into deep thought. Since we can't deal with this youngster for the time being, why not start with his home planet? If we find the Blue Star, we might be able to control Chen Luo. If the plan fails and we completely fall out with the youngster, the Volsci Empire will be doomed. Do we need to use the flower of the other shore? If it comes to that, we have no choice. We cannot let this youngster grow any further. At that moment, a servant rushed in to report Emperor Risen. Terrible news. The Mermaid Queen is nearing her end, and unfortunately, she has not found a successor with a pure enough bloodline. Risen nodded, informing Chuyong to take me to meet an old friend. Meanwhile, Chen Luo was having a friendly exchange with the Enlightenment Tree. Initially, the tree was quite arrogant, claiming it could only produce Enlightenment tea once every 10 years. However, Chen Luo quickly taught it a lesson, making it obedient. Chen Luo then said firmly, I'm naming a figure, 10 kilograms per day. That's not a problem, right? The Enlightenment Tree hurriedly replied, I really can't do that. I can give you 30 kilograms first, then produce 5 kilograms per month. This is my limit. Any more would affect the quality of the Enlightenment tea. Just then, Rice suddenly ran over excitedly, shouting, Mealing has been promoted to demigod level. Also, you should use spatial teleportation and head west immediately. I feel there's a huge opportunity waiting for congealed frost there. Simultaneously, Mermaid Queen Olivia was instructing her people on her final wishes. If I'm not here, you can seek help from the Volsci Empire in times of crisis. Emperor Risad owes me a favor, he will surely assist. However, if Risad doesn't see the flower of the other shore bloom, he, too, is not long for this world. At this moment, a sobbing maid approached and said, Your Majesty, please eat this vermilion fruit. Maybe if you wait a little longer, you will find a suitable successor among your people. But Olivia seemed skeptical. It's not that easy. The two mermaids involved in the succession must have rich bloodlines and similar talents. I've been preparing for this for 100,000 years and still haven't found a suitable kin. Oh well, what will be will be. There's no use in forcing fate. Meanwhile, Chen Luo and his group arrived at the mermaid planet. He hurriedly instructed Congealed Frost to go down. Before she left, Rice warned her, "Don't tell anyone you know Chen Luo. If someone asks how you got here, just say you were thrown down by bad people." As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Luo kicked Congealed Frost down, who then fell like a meteor straight towards the palace, landing in front of Olivia. Seeing this, the queen immediately ordered, "Bring her to me at once." Congealed Frost was quite taken aback and thought to herself, "What's going on? Why are there so many of my kind here?" As Congealed Frost approached Olivia, the queen immediately sensed the rich bloodline aura on her and exclaimed, "Blessings upon our mermaid race. This child is the perfect successor I've been desperately seeking." She quickly asked, "Young girl, what is your name? Why did you suddenly fall from the sky?" Hearing this, Congealed Frost awkwardly smiled and replied, "My name is Congealed Frost. I was thrown down here by bad people." As soon as she finished speaking, Queen Olivia excitedly announced, "Let it be known to all my subjects, Congealed Frost is the next mermaid queen." At this point, the only male divine-level mermaid voiced his doubts, "Your Majesty, this person's origins are unknown. It would be wise to investigate her background first." Olivia shook her head in response, "I don't have much time left, there's no need for further discussion. Congealed Frost is the successor I have chosen." Seeing that their objective had been achieved, Chen Luo said, "Then let's go, so as not to be discovered. It's a bit hard to leave this crybaby behind." Hearing this, Rice smiled slightly, "It can't be helped, it's for the best for Congealed Frost. And only when Mi Ling, Mi Li, and Congealed Frost become gods, can I advance to divine level. Anyway, let's set that aside for now, I just sense that Thunder King will soon be in danger." Chen Luo was understandably alarmed, "What's happening with Thunder King?" Rice replied, "With my current abilities, I can't discern the specifics of the situation, nor can I predict whether Thunder King will survive." Chen Luo grew anxious, "What should we do? Given Thunder King's nature, it's unlikely he'll return on his own, but if he really dies, you can leave a message in the game to inform him of the situation. The choice should be left to him." Meanwhile, elsewhere, Afra had finally found Thunder King, who possessed 2 laws, and invited him to the Draymond Empire as a guest. She also introduced her brother, Artis. Thunder King quickly expressed his pleasure, "Delighted to meet you. I assume Prince Artis's abilities are extraordinary." At the mention of Artis, pride filled Afra's face. "My brother is the most outstanding genius in our family. He is now at divine level with 3 laws." Hearing this, Thunder King was momentarily stunned and thought to himself, "Afra herself is a 7-law divine level in the physical domain. How can her brother with just 3 laws be considered an outstanding genius?" Afra then smiled and said, "Thunder King is a formidable expert. Would you like to spar with him?" Artis immediately declined his sister's suggestion, "I'm not interested in sparring. If there's nothing else, I'll take my leave." After leaving, Artis returned to the palace to continue his cultivation, wondering, "I'm already very proficient with time stop, but why haven't I reached the point of law's favor?" Just then, Adolf entered, startling Artis. "Grandfather, weren't you at the destruction law? How are things there?" Adolf shook his head, "The power of the law lies in an abyss that even I dare not explore recklessly, sensing death itself. But destruction law is not important, you are the hope of the Draymond Empire. The legend says that exceptional talents must endure calamities to break through. You have always been closely protected by the Empire. Outsiders don't even know you are of the time domain. Perhaps this is why you haven't become a god of time." Artis was visibly shocked. "Do I need to go through a calamity to become a god of time? What if I don't survive?" Adolf immediately reassured, "Don't worry, my dear grandson, I won't let anything happen to you. I'm going to consult Violet of the causality domain right away." Saying this, Adolf went to Violet's planet, only to find Time Trace there as well. Violet greeted him with a smile, "Emperor Adolf, I've been waiting for you for a long time." Thinking to herself, "The second cause and effect I set in motion is finally coming into play." "Chen Luo, how will you respond this time?" Adolf quickly asked, "Did you foresee my visit?" Violet smiled slightly, "Not only did I foresee your visit, but I also know the reason for it. Adolf was about to ask her to predict artist tribulation, but before he could speak, Violet preempted him. The answer I can give you now is that artist tribulation will be Chen Luo. This was the second cause and effect she had laid for Chen Luo. Adolf, startled at first, then asked in confusion, why would it be Chen Luo? Violet replied with a slight smile. The secrets of heaven cannot be revealed. You will know the answer when you return. As Adolf left, Violet's lips curved upwards, thinking to herself, no matter how powerful the laws are, they still dance in my palm. 7 parts cause and effect. 3 parts deception. The 2 threads of cause and effect are about to entangle. With just a little manipulation, 2 great empires will join forces in an endless fight against Chen Luo. Meanwhile, at the Draymond Empire's martial arts arena, Thunder King was sparring with the 4-law divine level. He was caught by the throat and struggling to break free. Afra shouted anxiously, Thunder King, concede. It's not worth getting hurt. But Thunder King was determined, shouting, I will not concede. In that instant, he used his trump card, Lightning Exchange. In the next second, he mysteriously swapped places with the lightning behind him. Seeing this, Afra was stunned. Thunder King, you are incredible to escape and skate in such a situation. At this moment, Thunder King said helplessly, I just managed to escape. That's all. I didn't defeat the opponent. It's far from being impressive. Seeing Thunder King's nonchalant response, Afra said, that's already impressive. After all, your opponent had 2 more laws than you. You are exceptional in your escape abilities. Thunder King chuckled and thought to himself, maybe, perhaps, possibly because of someone's influence. Afra, recognizing Thunder King's extraordinary talent and lightning, offered, let me find you a teacher. With his guidance, I guarantee your strength will soar. Thunder King eagerly asked who it was. Afra revealed, this person is my grandfather, Adolf, the foremost expert in the cosmic lightning domain. Adolf was then brought in to instruct Thunder King. He said indifferently, since my beloved granddaughter considers you a genius, I will personally teach you the laws of lightning. Let's see how much you can grasp. Adolf then began to explain the various lightning laws. Delusion lightning for confusing opponents, fury lightning containing powerful mental attacks, and sprinting lightning, essential for infusing into other laws to achieve true lightning speed. After imparting 8 faint traces of law power into Thunder King, Adolf instructed, come back to me in a year. I will assess your understanding of the laws and decide whether to continue teaching you. After thanking Adolf, Thunder King left the arena, realizing he hadn't checked in with his friends since his departure. Logging into the game, he saw an email from Rice warning of a potential crisis. Thunder King replied, thanks for the heads up, but I'm not to leave. I'm making rapid progress here. I'm not afraid of danger. Tell Chen Luo, when my training is complete, the dog killer will return. At his command, the fearsome dog killer will re-emerge. Upon reading Thunder King's reply, Chen Luo sighed, let him be. If Thunder King faces any life-threatening danger, Rice will warn us in time. I can always step in to save him if necessary. The priority now is to refine my dimensional power. I recall in Ryzen's data there's a divine level named Gray, who would be an ideal sparring partner for me. Chen Luo immediately performed a void walk and arrived at his home planet. Soon, he located Gray based on the address. This frightened Gray considerably, who hastily exclaimed, aren't you the wanted criminal Chen Luo? What do you want? I haven't offended you. Before he could finish his sentence, Chen Luo suddenly grabbed his clothes and said, don't worry, I won't steal from your house. Come with me. With that, he performed another void walk, disappearing from the spot with Gray. They then arrived at a deserted planet. Gray, in a panic, said, I have no grudge against you. What do you want to do to me? As soon as he finished speaking, Chen Luo unsheathed the dimension blade and fiercely slashed at Gray. This terrified Gray, who quickly raised his hand to block, shouting, can't we talk this out? Chen Luo, however, ignored him and continued to wield the dimension blade. But soon, he realized something was amiss. No matter how he struck, he couldn't break through Gray's shield. Why has my dimension blade made no progress at all? He wondered. Then, he suddenly remembered the words Yin Chuan said before leaving. Actually, understanding any law is greatly related to one's personality. Timid people are more likely to comprehend defensive laws. This is exactly why you lack offensive laws. So, you need to change your temperament. Be more aggressive. That way, you'll find it easier to understand offensive laws. Also, emotions determine the type of skills you comprehend. When you're extremely scared, you're likely to comprehend skills that save your life. When you're extremely angry, you'll comprehend offensive skills. In short, when your emotions reach a critical point, you enter a special state. So, I suggest you try to enter a state of extreme anger more often, as it will help you comprehend offensive laws. But how do I get into a state of anger? What can make me extremely angry? He quickly thought of one possibility. If the Thunder King dies, I will definitely go mad. Thinking of this, Chen Luo immediately imagined that Gray had killed the Thunder King. In the next second, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Although it was just a hypothesis, the mere thought drove Chen Luo to the brink of sorrowful rage. Seeing this, Gray's bladder quivered, and he muttered to himself, "What grudge? What grievance? Why do you look at me with such terrifying eyes?" Before he could understand the situation, Chen Luo condensed 100-meter-long greatsword in his hand and ferociously slashed at the bewildered Gray. A loud boom sounded as the dimension blade struck Gray precisely. Although this strike caused violent vibrations in Gray's shield, it still did not break through, leaving Chen Luo deeply disappointed. He thought to himself, an attack without the power of the dimension law still can't threaten a divine-level being. Just then, a golden law suddenly appeared in the sky and rushed towards Chen Luo. Seeing this, the 5 laws within him also emerged to celebrate. Meanwhile, Gray was stunned. What's happening? How did he comprehend a law in the middle of a fight? And wasn't he known to have 4 laws? Why are there 6 now? Seeing this, Gray didn't hesitate and tried to slip away while Chen Luo was being transformed by the law. But in the next second, he was pulled back to the spot by Chen Luo's void banishment. Chen Luo, with a smirk, said, "Why are you running?" "Thanks to you, I've comprehended the dimension law. I must properly thank you." Gray quickly responded, "No need to thank me. I don't deserve it. Please, just let me go." Hearing this, Chen Luo chuckled, "Actually, I came not just to spar with you, but also for another joyous matter." Thinking to himself, it's also time to find partners for the litter of puppies born to Thunder King. Now that their biological father is not here, I, as their godfather, should take charge. With that, he immediately said, "Are you interested in becoming my in-law?" "Don't worry, you won't miss out on the meanwhile." At another location, Olivia's inheritance was reaching its conclusion. Olivia, with a look of satisfaction, said, "Child, I hope that after you become strong, you can lead the merfolk to a better future." As she spoke, Olivia, like a snowflake, merged into Congealed Frost's body, gradually disappearing. This moment brought tears to Congealed Frost's eyes. Although she had only known Olivia for a day, Olivia's self-sacrifice to pass on her legacy deeply moved Congealed Frost. With the completion of the inheritance, Congealed Frost was enveloped in a layer of dreamlike blue ice, instantly stepping into the demigod-level realm. The fellow clan members silently prayed, hoping Congealed Frost would fully inherit the Queen's Law insights and soon become a divine-level being to protect the merfolk planet. A male merfolk, thinking of Congealed Frost, said to himself, "I am the only man in our clan. What does it matter if she becomes the queen? In the end, she will still be my woman." At that moment, a blue ice law descended from the sky, surrounding Congealed Frost and beginning to transform her body. This also energized Rice on the other side, startling everyone who was eating. They immediately asked Rice, "What's happening?" Rice quickly responded, "Don't panic, it's a good thing. Congealed Frost has become a god, and thus my power has also increased significantly. Continue eating, I'm going to verify my abilities." Hearing this, Mi Ling sighed to herself, "Now even Congealed Frost has become a god, but my power hasn't increased at all." Congealed Frost's ascension also made Rice realize she had gained the ability to create something from nothing. She pondered, "What should I create?" Quickly, she had an answer to create a spectacle that would help Chen Luo comprehend the law of time. With the law of fate swirling around her, Rice thought hard, but the aura around her gradually dimmed. After about 15 minutes, Rice finally generated a time-accelerating vortex based on the existing conditions, and immediately shared the good news with Chen Luo. Chen Luo, head south immediately. I have prepared a surprise for you. Chen Luo then found an energy vortex in the south. Rice told him, this is a time-accelerating vortex, very rare and not long-lasting. It's much milder than the flower of the other shore. Chen Luo carefully extended his hand into the time vortex, only to discover it contained a powerful temporal force, drastically different from the external flow of time. After a close examination, he realized, this is a time acceleration zone with a flow speed 30,000 times faster than the outside world, while the flower of the other shore has at least 1,000,000 times speed. Delighted, Chen Luo quickly entered the vortex. He then released his time rewind ability to counter the acceleration. After 2 days of relentless practice, he began to gain some insights. Simultaneously, a spaceship, by sheer coincidence, passed through the area. Caroline, a formidable psychic, was aboard. She was extremely irritated at the moment, having not only missed out on any enlightenment tea, but also having worked a month for nothing at Eugene's place. She muttered to herself, if it weren't for Chen Luo, I could have gotten at least half a pound of enlightenment tea. Just then, a light energy vortex caught her eye. Upon closer inspection, she found Chen Luo inside the vortex, seemingly having an epiphany. Caroline smirked and thought, talk about a small world. She then implanted a psychic mark into Chen Luo's body, which he quickly sensed as something unusual. Before he could understand what was happening, Caroline appeared before him. Such a coincidence. Chen Luo, meeting you here, she said, thinking to herself, with my psychic mark on him, he's effectively located. When needed, I can sell his location to the Volsci Empire. Chen Luo, weary, asked, what do you want with me? While his eyes were fixed on her hand, Caroline quickly responded, why are you looking at my hand? I know you can stop time. Why would I dare wear a space ring on my hand? As she spoke, Caroline grabbed Chen Luo's arm. Chen Luo, I know you have the enlightenment tree. Could you give me 2 pounds of enlightenment tea? Chen Luo instinctively agreed to her request, but he soon realized what had happened. Damn, why would I let a stranger grab my arm and agree to give her enlightenment tea? Thinking this, he immediately performed a void walk to leave his original position. Thinking to himself, this Caroline is no simple character. I've fallen for her illusion. This frightened Caroline, she thought, he's only at 4 loss. How could he see through my illusion? In a rush, she shouted, Chen Luo, don't be ungrateful. You stole the entire enlightenment tree. You can't drink all the tea yourself. What's wrong with giving me 2 pounds? Hearing this, Chen Luo retorted sharply, I risked my neck to get this. And you think I should just give it to you? Unless. But before he could finish, Caroline immediately responded with a blush, Chen Luo, you're so bad, but I'm willing. Chen Luo was taken aback. What are you thinking about? I was just asking if you wanted to spar with me. As he spoke, Chen Luo hurled a dimension blade at her, shouting, since you're so eager, take this. Unexpectedly, his full-powered strike suddenly stopped in front of Caroline, unable to advance further. Under Caroline's control, the attack even turned back on him. Chen Luo was shocked, realizing the extent of her powerful psychic abilities to control others' attacks. Without delay, Chen Luo launched dozens of dimension blades at Caroline, but the blades meant to harm her turned against him. Caroline's expression turned cold. This guy actually wants to take my life. Let's fight it out. With a shout, she appeared in pink armor, scythe in hand. Before Chen Luo, like a pink god of war, she swung her scythe rapidly and at tricky angles. But Chen Luo, with his ability to void walk infinitely, evaded every strike without a scratch. Caroline snorted, I know, no one can keep you if you want to leave, but I've left a psychic mark inside you. You can't escape from the palm of my hand. Chen Luo's expression changed as he thought, this is bad. If what she says is true, she could ambush me anytime. That's too dangerous. He immediately tried to sense the faint psychic energy within him and attempted to erase the mark, but to no avail. Seeing his futile efforts, Caroline smirked and said, "Don't waste your energy. It's useless. How about this? Give me 5 pounds of enlightenment tea, and I'll remove the mark for you." This enraged Chen Luo, who thought, since when have I, Chen Luo, been threatened by anyone? And who knows if she'll really remove it? She might plan another, even more undetectable. Chen Luo quickly used his time stop ability on Caroline. With ease, he snatched the scythe from her hands, and then slapped her twice in quick succession. Getting cocky, huh? I've always been the one robbing others. No one robs me. This scythe is now mine. Caroline, infuriated, retorted, "Do you really think just because you took something, it belongs to you?" As she spoke, 2 small orbs suddenly appeared on the scythe, launching 2 psychic attacks at Chen Luo. Fortunately, he dodged in time, narrowly avoiding the assault. He quickly threw the scythe into his special ability space, saying, "Once something is in my hands, it's mine. Unless your scythe possesses the power of more than 3 laws, it has no chance of escaping my ability space." Caroline stood there, stunned, and thought to herself, how did he completely sever my connection with the scythe? How is that possible? Before she could figure it out, Chen Luo pointed at her with a malicious grin. "Not only is the scythe mine, but your armor is too." He then charged towards Caroline, shouting, "Say your goodbyes to your armor now." The next moment, the armor eerily detached from her body, and automatically went into Chen Luo's hands. This infuriated Caroline immensely, and she hurriedly cursed, "You shameless thief. Give me back my armor and weapons right now. Don't you believe I can summon people to kill you this instant?" However, Chen Luo just smirked and said, "That pink skirt on you seems like a rare treasure too. Hand it over." As soon as he finished speaking, Caroline's clothes disappeared in a flash. Chen Luo then grinned and said, "This is what happens to those who offend me." By now, with that, he disappeared into thin air, leaving Caroline alone in the disheveled wind. Meanwhile, in another place, Resod arrived in the Draymond Empire, seeking to collaborate with Adolf to eliminate Chen Luo. Eager to help his grandson artist through a crisis, Adolf immediately agreed to Resod's request. Resod then spoke in a serious tone, "I heard you recently detected the aura of the destructive law. What's the situation now?" Hearing this, Adolf immediately replied, "The location has been pretty much confirmed. The destructive law is in a bottomless abyss. Didn't your empire's black spirit enter it recently? If he hadn't been wearing armor and reacted quickly to retreat, he would have died hundreds of times over by now. I'm not ready to die yet, so I dare not recklessly explore. Resod, aren't you nearing the end of your life? Why don't you give it a try?" Hearing this, Resod shook his head. "Isn't Chen Luo very greedy? Why don't we set a trap and lure him in?" However, this suggestion was opposed by Adolf. "For my grandson's safety, I must see Chen Luo die with my own eyes. Let's quickly send people to find his whereabouts." Just then, Resod's communicator suddenly rang. It was Caroline on the line. She spoke in a distressed tone. "Emperor, I know you're looking for Chen Luo. I'm willing to provide his exact location in real time. That guy is not only greedy but also lecherous. He even stripped off my clothes. Emperor, you must seek justice for me." Hearing this, Resod quickly responded, "This is indeed a stroke of luck. What are we waiting for? Let's go and finish that guy off right now." However, Adolf had a different view. "Since Caroline says he's greedy and lecherous, I have a better idea. Let's ask Lady Dana of Exquisite Poison to take action. Dana is not only beautiful as an angel but also a divine-level practitioner of the 6 Paths Law. Skilled in the use of poison, I am willing to provide her with a bottle of bloodthirsty honey to deal with Chen Luo." Upon hearing this, Resod immediately agreed. "Your plan is more thorough. Dana's poison combined with the bloodthirsty honey. Anyone who gets hit will undoubtedly die." Meanwhile, Chen Luo was on a remote planet attempting to erase a mark. After 3 days of relentless time reversal, he finally succeeded in removing Caroline's imprint, marking a historic breakthrough in his mastery of time reversal. However, just then, he heard a woman's crying nearby. Turning around, he found a wounded woman who was none other than Dana. Sent by the two great emperors to assassinate him, Dana approached the riverside where Chen Luo was, pretending to wash her wounds in the river water and moaning softly. This instantly caught Chen Luo's attention, prompting him to follow the sound and discover a pitiful and charming lady. Without hesitation, Dana launched into her act, wearily watching Chen Luo and shouting, "Don't come any closer." However, to her surprise, Chen Luo simply acknowledged with an "oh" and turned to leave. Dana was shocked, thinking to herself, is the intelligence wrong? I'm so charming, and he just walked away? He doesn't seem like a lecherous man at all. In a hurry, she shouted, "Wait, I recognize you. You are the wanted criminal, Chen Luo, right? I know you're powerful. Please, help me. I was injured by a divine-level practitioner of the Two Paths Law. Not only that, but the bastard killed my husband and tried to. If you help me avenge this, I am willing to serve you for 10,000 years." As soon as she said this, Chen Luo immediately sensed her ulterior motives. He pointed at Dana and exclaimed, "You're up to no good. Tell me, are you trying to lure me into saving your husband and then set a trap for me?" Hearing Chen Luo's accusation, Dana was dumbfounded and thought to herself, "No, how can your thought process be so brilliant? I never even considered that." Chen Luo sneered, "Caught you, didn't I? Excuses are just a cover-up, and a cover-up is the truth." Dana shook her head in defense. "It's not what you think. How can I make you believe me? I am ready to meet any of your demands right now. After you're satisfied, then you can help me take revenge. How about that?" Chen Luo, already convinced of her malicious intent, wasn't about to be fooled. He mockingly asked, "You say you have a husband. Then tell me, what race is he? How old is he? What level is he? And how many minutes does it take each time?" Dana was prepared for the initial questions, but the last one left her speechless. Seeing her confusion, Chen Luo smirked disdainfully, "Can't answer, can you? With such low intelligence, you thought you could deceive me? Utterly foolish." Dana, infuriated, thought to herself, "I, the exquisite poisonous lady, have killed countless people on my journey. How dare you insult me like this?" With that, she revealed her true form, shouting, "Dare to say that again." Chen Luo shuddered at the sight. Just a moment ago, she was a stunning beauty, and now she's turned into a monster. Lucky I'm a good man and didn't do anything inappropriate. Just thinking about it is revolting. Suddenly, Dana opened her mouth wide, and strange, grotesque insects poured out, quickly transforming into massive creatures, forming an army of poisonous beasts. Chen Luo didn't retreat an inch. Instead, he taunted, "So, you're a poison-summoning sorcerer, huh?" He then donned his armor, muttering, "My specialty is dealing with summoners. Sorry, but I am your natural counter." Undeterred, Dana shouted, "Still so arrogant at death's door? Go, my army of poisons." As soon as Dana finished speaking, the black armor on her body vanished in a flash, terrifying her. She urgently shouted, "Hurry up and kill this scoundrel." Chen Luo chuckled, "Dealing with so many poisons one by one is troublesome. How about we spend some time alone?" In an instant, they teleported to another planet. Dana, utterly confused, cried out, "Don't come any closer." Chen Luo smiled slightly and said, "Don't be afraid, I'll show you a great treasure." He then conjured a 40-meter-long giant sword, which scared Dana immensely. She quickly deployed her dissolving law for defense. However, the next second, Chen Luo used time stop on her and struck her with a mighty blow. Surprisingly, it didn't cause any substantial harm to Dana. Witnessing this, Dana was petrified, realizing that Chen Luo also mastered time stop. Excited, Chen Luo shouted, "If one strike doesn't kill you, then I'll strike 1,000,000,000 times." Dana, refusing to give up, unleashed a toxic cloud, attacking Chen Luo with a widespread poisonous rain. However, this was ineffective against Chen Luo, who could perform limitless void walking. He simply teleported to another location. Dana finally realized, he said he's my natural counter, and he wasn't bluffing. Panicked, she screamed, "Brother Yun Chuyang, where are you? Stop hiding. Come out and save me." Hearing this, Chen Luo froze.